Hey guys, what is up, and I welcome you to another episode of Did You Know? This one of course featuring Kassadin. I want to give a quick shout out to my mother because today is her birthday. Also, please don't forget to like the video if you did enjoy, but without any further ado, jumping straight into his abilities. Kassadin's passive reduces magic damage by 15%, but remember this reduction is taken into effect after the MR reductions have been applied first. His passive also stacks and refreshes if he ever takes magic damage again within the 4 seconds, meaning that he can actually get quite a bit of attack speed from his passive. A fun fact with Kassadin is that the missile speed of his Q ability Null Sphere is 1400, while something like Morgana's Q is only 1200. Kassadin's W ability is not an auto attack reset ability, so make sure to use it before your first auto attack to maximize the amount of damage you can do in the short time frame that it is active for. Don't forget that Kassadin's E gains charges from your spells and also your enemy's spells, which is why laning against someone like Karthus or Cassiopeia can be a very solid matchup for Kassadin. Kassadin's ultimate is known to be able to stack up further and further for more damage, yet of course at a higher mana cost. But did you know that the maximum amount of stacks is 10? This of course means if you were to get 10 stacks and use it without hitting an enemy champion, it will use 6600 mana. But if you do hit a champion, it will cost 3300 mana, since it refunds half the cost if you hit a champion with it. Speaking of stacking Kassadin's ultimate and bursting people down, a really fun tactic yet somewhat efficient is to run Teleport Summoner spell on Kassadin. Then when you are in the base, you can simply stack up your ultimate up to a certain amount of charges, possibly 10 if you have the mana to support it. Then of course use Teleport on a minion or a ward in a lane where an enemy champion is farming. And then you can easily surprise them with the amount of burst that your ultimate will bring and kill them in a matter of seconds. Or you can do this when a teamfight erupts and teleport into the teamfight with massive ultimate damage and do some crazy AoE damage, potentially turning on the teamfight for your team. A typical combo with Kassadin to assassinate a target is to ulti in, use your E, then Q, and then your W. You want to use your E first so that when you use your Q and W right after it, you already have 2 charges back in your just used E. However, certain situations may require you to use the Q first for the silence. Alright guys, that was all I was able to think of for his abilities, but let's jump into some really cool facts and lore about Kassadin. Did you guys know that Kassadin was designed by Ezreal, who also has made a huge list of champions including Ahri, Annie, Nasus, Teemo, and so many more. The icon of Kassadin's Q ability is the exact same icon that is used whenever your team has Baron buff. Next time you play your game, definitely check it out. Adam Harrington is the voice actor of Kassadin. He also voiced Karthus, Mordekaiser, Ryze, and Shaco. And looking at Kassadin's splashwork, it seems like he's carrying a 12 pack, maybe even more. Those abs. It seems Kassadin attempted to silence his mother at one point with probably his Q, and apparently it was a bad idea.
I tried to silence my mother once. Boy, did I regret that.
Kassadin was once a human before he turned into what he is now, thanks to the Void. The Void is a place that is feared by people due to the horrors that it contains, and the knowledge about it has been hidden and forgotten by most, yet some people, like Kassadin, pursue their search and discovery of it. Kassadin was a seeker of forbidden knowledge, yet after following many trails it eventually led him to a forgotten place called Ikathia. He became one of 2 people to ever enter and still live to tell the tale, the other of course being Malzahar. Ikathia is a lost city that is believed to be in the southern half of Valorant, a place many explorers are trying to discover currently. The city is considered to be a decaying Cyclopean city. During his time there, Kassadin has learned secrets he will never share and began fearing the visions that he saw there. With the Void in the area that he is threatening to consume him, he simply let it in hopes to save himself. He ended up overcoming it, yet emerged something more than a mere human. After learning what he did in this area, he began to protect Valorant from what he learned and things that he saw that are coming out of the Void, such as Cho'Gath. Kassadin has followers called the Preservers of Valorant who aim to stop the invasion of creatures from the Void, yet Malzahar is the opposite, with a group called the Cult of the Void, aiming to unleash the Void creatures into Valorant. Zaunite officials, from the city of course, Zaun, speculate that Kassadin's daughter was captured by Malzahar for a sacrificial ritual, and she is trapped in the Void. Kassadin and Malzahar had fought outside the Institute of War, yet they were stopped by the League's educators. Apparently, Karthus was there as well to protect the Inhibitor, but of course referring to something entirely different than the Inhibitors within the fields of justice. Kassadin's festival skin was released to celebrate the 2010 Winter Olympics. Kassadin's Deep One skin refers to the Deep Ones, who are frog-like beings that live underwater in the Cthulhu mythos. Pre-void Kassadin is of course how he looked like before letting the void consume him. Harbinger Kassadin represents a corrupted version of Kassadin, how he could have potentially looked like if he joined Malzahar in his group after Malzahar's several invitations. Alright guys, that unfortunately does mark the end of this episode of Did You Know featuring Kassadin. Please don't forget to like the video if you did enjoy it, and also tell me down below who you would like to see in the next episode. I'm also thinking of doing another theory type video similar to my Zed and Noctur one, except with obviously two different champions. Also, I'd really much appreciate it if you guys can follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and the Nook pages. The description down below does contain the links. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you next time. Peace!